You're listening to Late Night Radio on the SHR Media Network. Caution, there will be mature themes explored and potentially adult language used. If conservatarian words, phrases, certain concepts, or rhetoric offends you, tune out now.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Leftist lies and globalists, I'm pushing them back. From the saloon to the airwaves, I'm spitting it raw. Constitution's my compass, liberty's law. Big gods creeping, shadows on the land. Feds with the schemes trying to bind up my hands. But I'm the Sherpa, guiding through the storm. Red, white, and blue, yeah, freedom's reborn. They spin their tails, but I see through the haze. Media maggots, lost in the maze. I'm calling it out, no fear in my soul. This patriot's fire ain't losing control. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. Freedom's calling. Let this judge is twisted, trying to steal our rights, but I'm locked and loaded, got them in my sights. From J6 to the border, they're selling us out. I'm screaming from the mountain, hear my rebel shout. They mock the flag, but I'm holding it high. Stars and stripes forever under God's open sky. No globalist chains gonna cage this land. I'm the Sherpa with the truth in my hand. They push their agenda, but I'm breaking the mold. Their promise is empty, their heart's ice cold. Chicago's bleeding, borders torn apart. I'm fighting for the people with the warrior's heart. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. I've walked the line, 41 years, badge on the grind, now I'm on the air, my voice like a blade, cutting through the lies that the traitors made. Hurricanes rage, but we're standing tall, sheriffs of the Constitution answering the call. From the saloon to the heart of the fray, we're taking back America, no more delay. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight, torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas the static, hear my voice resound. Conservative Sherpa, freedom's battleground. Berserk, Bobcat, rules will never kneel. For God and country, this fight is real.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Oh my God, the things you can do with AI. Welcome to BZ's Berserk, Bobcat, Saloon radio show, live and direct from the SHR Media Studios in North Idaho in an actual free state. I am, if you haven't guessed it by now, your conservative Sherpa. And I am guiding you through the maelstrom of Democrat, leftist, globalist, lies, chaos, deceit, betrayal, and all of that. Thanks for being here tonight. We're going to discuss that song. We're going to discuss a whole bunch of stuff. Shoot, I almost didn't go through my whole spiel. I almost started the show. I've got a great guest for you tonight. By the way, what you're going to hear tonight consists of my opinion only, and of course, the opinion of my guest, who is Mike Fitzpatrick. I am doing the job the American media maggots won't. I am fundamentally changing America one leftist diaper at a time. We don't water our drinks just like we don't water our conversations. We are still serving stiff drinks right here in the saloon, along with facts, history, logic, rationality, proportion, context, tradition, clarity, and common sense for normal people like you all. We talk about politics, religion, crime, culture, race, sex, economics, science, law. We talk about it all right here at the Saloon, where the speech is free, but the booze is not. And with that having been said, I will bring in my guest in just a moment. Have you ever had something where you've read a piece in, say, social media, and in that piece, you commented on something, and someone that you didn't think would say or write something similar to that commented back to me? I'm going to go off the rails just for a moment, and then your normally scheduled programming will return. Well, what I mean by that is I had a very brief one conversation with an individual who claims that he is very religious. And with that, I don't even need to put this guy's name up there. If I do, I'll put it up very briefly. This was his post. Now, having said that, in that particular post, he responded to me. And in the response that I gleaned off of that, this is a person who indicates that he is very religious. And I'm not really happy with the response. And this is a continuing series of things to indicate why BZ, I'm not really happy today. I'm going to be very happy shortly, but this is one of those things where I simply have to get it off my chest. I am about to illustrate to you that this is why, in my opinion, altogether, too many religious people are assholes. They're not far from getting what they deserve: eradication, if they continue like this. So note to religious people like this other one who responded to me. I'm not even sure I'm going to read the comment, but essentially from a very religious individual who said essentially, well, I'm going to hell because I'd like to see a conservative pope, and I'd like to see someone do something about the various problems that are in the church. Now, when I said eradication, let me make this very clear to everyone. Islam wants religion eradicated. Certainly Christianity. Democrats, leftists, and globalists want religion eradicated. Except Islam, because Islam plays long ball, it fights back, and it will kill you. They know that if given the chance, Islam will kill you. So let me state to this gentleman, fuck you, you pious piece of shit. Now, some people may say at this point, BZ, because that's my name, I wish that occasionally you would come out of your shell and tell us what it is that you really think. Well, let me see if I might be able to go over to this. Oh, damn, how come I can't get the comments? All right, that's all right. I can do it later, or I can just forget about it. But this torqued me and corked me so much that okay, I'm 210 over 190 right now. Just in with the nose, out with the mouth. Thank you. I had to get this off my chest. It's my show. I shouldn't let this happen, right? right? I shouldn't let this happen. I shouldn't let people get to me. But unfortunately, maybe it's just my great luck. The people that I encounter, that I have encountered in my great deal of time on this planet, who are really religious people, turn out to be the biggest assholes. Okay, maybe I should drop it. I will drop that, and then I will drop in. This happens to be Mike Fitzpatrick, who is with me tonight. And Mike, thank you very kindly for being here. I appreciate it.
Hey, BZ, it's my pleasure, man. Tell us how you really feel. I know you're holding back a little bit here.
I know someday people I've been excoriated for this on any number of times. Someday I will crawl out of my little shell and I will be able to find the words and grasp them so that I may express myself. Let me go back to the chat. All right. Because already in the chat room, we have a ton of people. By the way, I recommend everybody that you go into chat right now and notice this down below. Now, things are changing slightly. Go subscribe to the SHR Media channel. We are 43 people away from reaching that magic number of 500 in the SHR Media YouTube channel. It's very important. We don't exactly know what we'll get. Maybe we'll get a pie in the face delivered by Benny Hill, who will come up from the dead to deliver it to our gesichts. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Let's go to comments. Anyway, Mission Ready Men, Unleash Jeremy Hansen, loves the music. Mission Ready Men says, good evening. Welcome back. Hey there. SHR Media says, howdy. And also SHR Media says, I am liking the song. Mission Ready Men says, yep, baby, it's outstanding. Unleash Jeremy Hansen says, it's great. So SHR Media, SP Lewis, Sean Lewis says, dude, I agree. And he welcomes all welcome him, all welcome each other, all shake hands. And it's 9mm at midnight, come out fighting. And welcome to everybody. Oh my gosh. And printing, the Reaver of Common Sense is printing a Count Dooku's lightsaber. Huh. Okay. Oh, look. The Lost Wanderer, proving once again that not all who wander are lost. And the Lost Wanderer, oh yeah, loving the Galactus shirt. So for those of you who may not see it, because I have to have my shirts made by Omar the tent maker. However, I asked Galactus if I could copy his photo and put it on a 75X t-shirt, and he gave me permission. So it was a wonderful thing. It was a great thing. So everybody, thanks for being in chat. And you too can be in chat. Also, I have 104 followers now on the SHR Rumble channel. There are 35 people watching live. And if you would kindly share the show from the SHR Media YouTube channel, also from Rumble, as you can see over in this little bitty box right here, you can follow me at BZ's Saloon on X, otherwise known as Twitter. And if you wish, you may also jump into the SHR Media Network sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent, and plush chat room. Highly recommended that you do it from the SHR Media YouTube channel side. That's the best side to go. And just thanks to everybody for being here tonight. I want to see the numbers climb as we're being on the show. But mostly, thanks to Mike Fitzpatrick for being here. Now, first, I had a show last Saturday night. Mike, you may or may not have been aware of it. I started going one direction with the show. I was going to cover all the stuff that I had yet to cover. I had Jersey Joe on, and I also had Sean Lewis on. Jersey Joe is from Reaver of Common Sense, and Sean Lewis is from Edge of Liberty. They were both gracious enough to come on the show, and we spoke. And then the Lost Wanderer came into the show, And now I have had him on before. This should be no massive revelation. His name is Jeff Stoner. Now, Lost Wanderer does, in fact, have one of the coolest last names in the history of history, okay? Especially if you ever went through high school. Having said that, now we got into a discussion about Metallica and Led Zeppelin and music, and then it went over to AI. Lost Wanderer had created, and I played on that show, 2 songs that he had created in AI. One of them was accepted to Spotify.
Oh,
So that is one of the reasons, which I think is a tremendous accomplishment. But the cool thing is about him is that he himself is an accomplished musician. And we discussed about the implications for AI in music. Is it just a tool? Do we need to get over it? Is it going to kill everybody, kill everything? There will be no music anymore. It will all be soulless dreck. How's that going to happen? And then we discovered that, and we kind of came to the conclusion that it was a tool to be utilized by persons who were once facile in another way of expressing themselves musically. And then people, the cream will always rise to the top. And whether it's musicians, I don't play an instrument. I wish I had been forced as a child to learn to play piano or something. I mean, I played bass guitar very badly in a number of garage bands. And when I joke about, pustule, and I make fun of it. Yeah, that was my 44th garage band. I actually was in a band at one time, and it hurts me to have to say the name of this band, but it was Girl Fight. And we thought it would attract you know who, because that's what we were all about back then. And as I said, I played the bass, and very, very badly. But then let's go back to AI, because Lost Wanderer allowed me, he gave me permission to play these 2 songs. So if you want to know what the songs are, I'm not going to play them tonight. I'm not going to ask him for permission to, again, if you want to see them, you can, or listen to them, you can go to Spotify. If Jeff wants to talk about what's happening with his songs in chat, I will certainly be happy to put them up. But I don't want to crowd my position with regard to Jeff. His songs were gorgeous. Now, Mike, I'm going to point you in the right direction so that later on, if you want to see the show, which was this past Saturday night, they were, number one was very the first one was beautiful, and the second one was poignant. I mean, he wrote all the lyrics, he created the song, and that's about the time that this intriguing interplay came to fruition, and everything sort of dovetailed, because this is about the time that I thought, AI, talking about it on Saturday, AI was talking to you about it, and I need to give credit where credit is due. I gave it to Lost Wanderer, to Jeff Stoner, who created wondrous music. This was gorgeous. Highly recommended. 38 people watching live in chat right now. Thank you very much. Or watching live in the show. But I need to give credit where credit is due, folks. The song that I was so proud to play at the beginning of the show was created by this guy right here, Mike Fitzpatrick. And I heard it the first time, and just like the song from Lost Wanderer, the first time I heard it through, because I heard it in the green room at KLRN, where people chat in the background about what's happening and whatnot. So he put those 2 songs in there, and I listened to them, and I thought, bullshit. He didn't wrong. He created that. He created that music, and you created that. So one of the first things that I said to you was, mouth agape. How the hell did you do that, Mike Fitzpatrick?
It's I've been messing around with AI now for a better part of 4.5, 5 years. And I always tried different tools and different applications, and I had a need for music for something I was doing and didn't want to buy something that was already out there and available. So I wanted to try AI to see what could be done with that. And then that ended up leading to doing a 60th birthday gift for my brother of a song made up of events in his life. I used Chat GPT to write the lyrics. And he loved it. He really liked it. He said, man, I'm going to use that. If I had an answering machine, I would put that on my answering machine, but I think I'm going to mandate at work that it is my announcement music, my theme music every time I walk into a room. So he really liked it. And my brother doesn't like much. And so I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed with that. And then Friday, I really didn't feel like doing anything cybersecurity related. I just wanted to mess around, play around with some stuff. And so, knowing BZ as I do, all the concerts that he was part of at is Fillmore, right? Fillmore, right?
Oh, I went to Fillmore East, Fillmore West, the Cow Palace, the Agora Theater, the Great Western. I'm missing a bunch. The Cow Palace, the Palladium, just all the old classic 60s venues.
So, I know that BZ likes Cream and some of the older bands like that as I do as well. And so, I utilized Grok on X. I pulled up BZ's profile. I had Grok write the lyrics based upon BZ's posts on X. And next thing I know, I've got lyrics. I told it what kind of music I was thinking about. Cream 60 style with a little post grunge mixed in, a little driving bass and drums, maybe tinge of EDM on it because BZ needs a dance beat. And bada bing, bada boom, there we go.
Okay, let me ask you.
Less than 2 minutes.
See, you told me that before, and my first synapse that snapped said, Mike just lied to you. Something that good couldn't have taken 2 minutes in AI.
2 minutes.
And I thought, okay, on what? The 75th try, the 110th try,
First try.
And 2 minutes, first try, AI wrote the lyrics, did the music, using all sorts of bullet points from who I am. I was just stunned. I was floored. I was flabbergasted. I was smacked in the gob. Just like that.
I actually did one for Lonnie Poindexter as well.
Yes, you played that for me.
Yeah.
You played that for me. And shoot, I could play it here over the phone. I could Bluetooth it, but I don't want to. I don't want to because it's his song. You did it for him. He can play it when he gets better. By the way, folks, from me to you, despite what I said at the beginning of the show.
Here comes the religious plea.
Now, the plea is Lonnie Poindexter had open heart surgery late in December, and he is still recovering. Multiple, he had something very serious occur in the surgery. He's still in recovery. He's doing much better. So if you happen to have any extra prayers floating around the ozone tonight, if you would, keep Lonnie Poindexter, who used to be a wonderful broadcaster here on SHR Plus, after he wasn't doing his show anymore. He moved from DC and he moved over to California, always spell it with a K, and he wasn't doing his show for a while. And then I would have him on the show. Sean would have him on the show, and we just had a rollicking time. It was a great, great time. Lonnie Poindexter is great people. So if you would flip up a player, you know what I meant. Send a prayer out to Lonnie tonight.
Absolutely. I talked to him just before the show, and we were doing this, and he loves the way his turned out, and his is more of a politics meets religion
right
point of view. And so I used gospel, and I had it write lyrics based upon Lonnie's posts on X.
Yeah.
And it's spot on. It's tied. It's so tied to him. It's not even funny. Matter of fact, he just texted. Oh, by the way, Lonnie's dad turns 94 on Thursday.
Oh my God.
And
my dad hit 88, but 94. Oh,
Lonnie's dad is about as close to my dad as there is.
Blessings to him, man.
Those two guys are very much alike.
Well, see, Lonnie is also like our SHR guy, Earl Biggie Jackson, whose show is Mission Ready Men. He's in the chat tonight. So his show is like Mission Ready Men, which I highly recommend. It's on Tuesday and Thursday days in, well, the morning on SHR. And by the way, I should add, shrmedia.com. shrmedia.com. It works now. It's fully functional. It's a great place. So when we now say, if you want to watch the show, you can watch it on shrmedia.com. Sean spiffed it all up, and it's a great website, and everyone and anyone needs to visit if you want to do so. And that's where Mission Ready Men is. Let me get back to Earl. His show is, in fact, Mission Ready Men, Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, and noon Eastern. Mission Ready Men. You'll hear the promo for him tonight. Oh, speaking of which, darn. Okay, let me do this. We were talking about AI, and Mike had done this. This was completely done by AI. Now, after we take a break, I want to come back, play this, and I want to have Mike FITZPATRICK, cybersecurity expert, founder and CEO of NCX Group. I want him to explain this, and this is the kind of quality that we're getting now out of AI. And then I want to address all the various issues in terms of AI. Is it going to kill us? Will it wrap its little tendrils, its little metal tendrils around our throats as we sleep? How is AI going to affect us? And we've got a lot of things to talk about. So if you need to use the electric winkle chamber, do so, and we'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Mission log entry. I mean, let's face it, who's even counting anymore? The Lost Wanderer is officially off course, chasing rogue rocket launches, fringe science, and things that probably violate causality. If it burns fuel, bends time, or makes science...
Everybody stop. Hold it right there. I may as well tell you. I spent the entire day pounding the shit out of AI so I could have all these images at the beginning of the show. And then I set up all my images for the new promo packs that were created that are virgin promo packs just for this show tonight, because Mike FITZPATRICK had created this wonderful intro song. And so what did I do? Oh, yes, I've got lots of graphics, lots of overlays for everyone. But one of the first things that I just now remember that I forgot is I don't have an overlay for Lost Wanderer. And I just remembered that. God, that drives me nuts.
Isn't this very uncomfortable? Yeah, I'm probably going to talk about it. Every other Sunday on KLRN Radio, The Lost Wanderer. because space doesn't come with a roadmap. And honestly, I wouldn't follow if it did.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Hey fellas, are you mission ready? You need to check out Mission Ready Men via Earl Big E Jackson on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. It's a show that equips you to navigate our society's challenges from a biblical perspective with courage and conviction. Tune into Mission Ready Men as we examine our culture through the prism of biblical truths, teachings, and how to apply them in our daily lives. Prepare to step up, stand out, and step into your role as a man as ordained by God. That's Mission Ready Men, hosted by Earl Jackson on the SHR Media Network. And get mission ready.
Want to make an immediate difference in the life of a critically ill child? You have the ability to do that right now. Make a donation to Dream Makers for Life, the organization that restores dreams to seriously ill children and their families. You can sponsor a dream pack for a child, which contains a clear PVC backpack, a dry erase board adventure coloring book, a journal, and dry erase markers to inspire a critically ill child to envision a future adventure and hope. Want to become a dream maker for life yourself? Go to dreamforlife.org. That's dreamforlife.org. Help a child. Help a family. There is always hope.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
First half hour is down. I'm BZ. You are in the saloon. Thanks to everybody for being here tonight. Great kudos to Mike Fitzpatrick, who is here with me. We're going to be talking about AI and a bunch of other things. And as I said before the break, will AI kill us? Will its little metal tendrils come up through my bed and under my mattress and wind its way into my ear and then punch out the other side? Actually, it'll be very easy because there is almost nothing interfering in between the two sides. So that's a big plus as far as I'm concerned. Now, I told you that I would play this. This is manufactured by Mike to help promote his stuff. This is only about 40 seconds long, but I'm going to play it, and then you folks let me know what you think. This is created by AI. How tough, how difficult, and does it get the message across? And I think it does. Let's listen.
When it comes to vendor risk, trust alone isn't enough. You need proof. Don't lose a trusted vendor over cybersecurity. My CSO advisor assesses, guides, and certifies smaller vendors so you can work with confidence. It's not a score, it's real validation. So you can retain trusted vendors, reduce risk, and protect your business. Schedule a consultation today to discuss smarter ways to secure your vendor network. Visit ncxgroup.com for more information.
Now, I think that gets the point across in 38 or 40 seconds or so. Now, again, let me give more kudos where kudos are deserved. SHR Media, Sean Lewis's SHR Media, Sean has created any number of promo breaks that people at SHR play. I'm not a video guy, and I'm not smart enough to play that stuff and know what's going on. All my stuff in the breaks are audio that I put overlays up because, yeah, I'm that stupid. But if you go to Sean's show, Edge of Liberty, he has gone into Canva and created all those things at great time and just a lot of diligent and very hard work. And kudos for Sean for being able to do that. Now, that said, everybody, including myself and Sean and Reaver of Common Sense, Jersey Joe, and Earl, were all working to upgrade our shows. And this is something that you, Mike Fitzpatrick, that we just played, created in AI. So, can you tell a little bit about how you created it? Where did you create it? And the difficulty, hard, easy, learning curve. This has got to be the future. Yes.
It's definitely the future. AI is an interesting set of tools. Like I said at the beginning, I've been working with AI for the better part of 4.5 or 5 years. ChatGPT's been out. Most people started playing with it when chat showed up, but I'd been using it for marketing related functions, for copywriting and things like that, for the better part of probably 2 or 3 years before OpenAI came out. A tool that originally came out was Conversion AI. Then they changed their name to Jarvis. Then they realized there might be a fight with the Marvel folks, and so then they changed it to Jasper. And it's really a bunch of AI templates for doing different marketing things. And so that's kind of where it started. And then it started turning into, now it's a research team. Now it's, utilized it this last Christmas season as I had some time off to go through and actually build a business plan for this year for the business with the new MyCSO advisor services that we've launched. And so it's really very handy. The amount of time that it saves is incredible. As far as the video is concerned, that really started as a result of probably about 2 years ago, starting to do a summary of a blog post that we would do. And then we wanted to put in a video along with it, a nameless, faceless, AI kind of video. With it, like Fox was doing and like NBC was doing, and things like this with some of the news publications. And so we started doing that. And the first one we actually did was a takeoff on the Grinch for Christmas, and utilizing AI to actually rewrite the Grinch to make it apply to ransomware and how the Grinch stole Christmas through ransomware. So you add a little creativity to it, and you put in the right prompts, and sometimes you get magic, sometimes you just get garbage, but it is an amazing aid. And BZ, we talked on Friday. I think everybody should, one, not be afraid of it. I think everybody should utilize the tool, learn the tool, especially those that might think that their best years are behind them, because I swear I think there's businesses. And let me give you a for instance. Sunday night, my son's best friend came over to the house, and the boys literally grew up across the street from each other here. They've known each other since one was 5 and the other was 4. And he came over to take my son out for birthday dinner, and got to talking to him after the boys got back, and he was telling me about his side hustle. And so he's actually a band director in a high school. And so he's developed a side hustle. He's never really been interested in computers, but he's gotten interested in AI, and he's learned how to use AI, and he's developed this whole workflow to take businesses and to where they can offload all of their most tedious functions as far as answering questions and things like that through their phone systems, and having AI do it with a human voice, like it's a team member for that small business. And now he's selling that as a subscription service. And I got to tell you, I'm so proud of him, because he's never actually had an interest in computers. It wasn't something that he was on all the time growing up. But now he's figured out at age 26 how he can build a business with AI and going in and solving business problems. He's got a whole prospecting engine that's going on. He's sending out 100 emails a day, HVAC companies, for example, to get a meeting and show what he can do. And then he charges a fee and then a monthly retainer. It's a great little business.
Sure, it's wonderful. It's a great thing to do. It solves problems.
Right.
Now, you told me the interesting thing that I think you'll find is that as I spoke to Lost Wanderer on Saturday night, just a few nights ago, he said that he had created both of his songs in Suno. And then I went, bing. And then I remembered, oh, wait, Mike said
Suno.
that he also created the song for me in Suno. So you'd been in there. You obviously have a facility with Suno. But before you even got into AI to produce songs or images or anything like that, you must have done some investigation to try to figure out, okay, is Suno the best? Then maybe you identified it and said, yeah, okay, I kind of dig Suno. So how long did it take you to get into it, subscribe, whatever it is that you need to do, download, and then go in, start working it, and you figured out, hey, this works fairly well. I'm starting to become a little bit more adept at that. What kind of a learning curve was there? I mean, for normal people, not for fat morons like me, but normal people.
Well, in this particular case, I had a specific need for a specific type of track. And so I just, I put in a description of what I wanted to do and what in the search engines, or actually, you know what, BZ? I don't really use search engines anymore. I use AI to do the searches for me.
Yeah.
And the AI of choice for that, quite frankly, is Grok. X's AI is phenomenal. But anyway, so, I did a search using AI for what would be a great AI music platform to do this type of music in. And it came back with Suno and a couple of others. And I went and checked out Suno. And I think they've got a free plan, but it doesn't come with a commercial license with it. So I think I signed up for the $12 a month one. I think it's $100 for the year. And I've got a commercial license. So anything I create is now licensed music.
Okay, so no royalty, none of that stuff.
Nope.
The level that you're at covers all of that, and you won't
Correct.
get stricken by YouTube or all the other people that love to
No,
kill you.
because it's all original music. It's all original content. So, it's something that belongs to me at this point, and I've gifted it to you. So but it's really quite interesting where they're going with this. There's a great tool out there that I'm probably going to play with and experiment with this weekend. It's an AI, I guess aggregator would be the best way to say it. It's called Abacus AI. And Abacus is really a AI routing platform. So it chooses, it's connected, and you end up with access for $10 a month. You end up with access to every AI model out there that's connected to Abacus. No additional charges, which is phenomenal. And so, you can get some of the, cream of the crop video AIs. You can do music with it. You can, anything and everything. It's got Gemini, it's got Grok, it's got all the latest models of all of them. It's got the deep sight. There you go. Thank you.
So this is the one that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I'm talking about. So you just get the individuals in small teams. That's the chat LLM teams there. And it's $10 a month.
Not bad. Not bad. I almost signed up for Chat GPT. about 4 or 5 days ago. And then there's still this thing that's living inside of me like a bad dead ferret that says something similar to, don't do it. Don't let it on your computer, and don't go to sleep in the same house. There's just, I don't know what the hell it is that is keeping me from going full chat into this thing. Oh, Lost Wanderer says, yeah, I haven't played with that yet, but it is on his radar. But there's so much stuff that you can do. I mean, you did that song in Suno.
Yeah.
Lost Wanderer did that song in Suno. When we get through at the end of the show,
loves the AI music, idea? Kid Rock. Kid Rock is huge on AI music.
Okay. Well, hold on. That
I
is
still hold the record, by the way.
I have to ask everybody here, at least the people that listen to the song that Mike did at the beginning of the show. I thought that the vocals in that sounded very Kid Rockish, which is why I thought, when I heard that, I thought, oh, and Kid Rock, that doubly rocketh as well. So again, going back, kudos to you for being able to do that. Now here is, I always like to welcome people that are new into the chat room. You may have been here before, Richard Gibbs, but welcome to the chat room and thank you for being here. You're always welcome to jump on the show, unless you start banding around F and S words, because that's my job and nobody else's. And then the Phantom laughed. Well, let's go. Let's go further into this. I got 12 more minutes.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about, well, let me just put this up on the stage. It seems to me that there is a huge competition either brewing or it's already here. And leftist Democrats and globalists are all pushing and mandating and regulating for EVs. And now let's just shove AI aside just for a moment. Humor me, if you will, on this, folks. Even without AI, how are we going to possibly handle the electrical requirements for a grid to support all of the EVs that the DLG were mandating? Now, some of those mandates have subsequently been dropped due to President Donald John Trump, OMB, Orange Man Bad, the guy with the dead orange cat on his head. But still, had that continued, how would we have possibly accommodated all of the electricity that would have been necessary, all of the rewiring, all of the infrastructure that would have been required for EVs now and in the future? That was damn near an impossibility. So now add AI. And here's a story. Data center boom. Now, AI, Mike Fitzpatrick, I want to make sure that I am interpreting this properly.
Okay.
In terms of AI, the electricity you need is for these things over here. Massive server farms, row after row after row of computer. There isn't sort of one central Star Trek computer in the core of the NCC 1701. It doesn't work like that. It's like, and you tell me again if I'm way wrong, but it looks like corridor after corridor after corridor of all of these computers punishing and pummeling and pummeling. There's so many servers. They all look alike. They all require, I would guess, many of them require liquid cooling. Would that be correct?
Well, there's cooling built into the racks within the data center. So servers are either a 1U or a 2U. So it's either, where's my camera? That thick or
Okay.
that thick.
Okay.
And so, I mean, these data centers are built to really cool these servers and keep them functioning. The energy issue is a massive issue, and one, you're right about the EVs. There's just there wasn't enough power for everything we do. The EVs and the grid just, shit, the grid is still 1950s America grid in a lot of ways. So it just won't be able to accommodate it. The real issue now, and I've been in the meetings because a friend of mine has developed a technology that literally does three things. One, it encrypts data, basically a post-quantum proof technology. So it would take something beyond quantum computing to be able to crack the encryption in it. Two, it improves bandwidth utilization by 80%, meaning throughput gets better and faster. And then three, the final thing, and this is where it applies to AI, and that is that it reduces power consumption, energy consumption by also 80%.
Okay. So that, to me, that would seem to be a major, major break in this. And let's talk about quantum computing just kind of for a teeny weensy time here. You've addressed this before. I have heard it said that quantum computing is going to be the answer to everything in terms of computing. It will be faster, cooler, smaller, more readily accessible. Its speed will be beyond anything we have ever experienced before, and it will potentially solve so many problems that current computers can't fix. So the realistic question is, how far are we away? I mean, is quantum computing like the next Deus ex machina? It's coming down from above, bing, and it will solve all of the Earth's problems. Are we even close to quantum computing, Mike?
There's Microsoft has come out with their take on a quantum processing quantum chip. Google has done the same. Both are a little different approaches to it. No one really knows what quantum's going to bring. I mean, to be absolutely realistic about it, no one really knows. Google made a claim as far as solving this or that and opening doors that we never thought of, as far as, processing and utilizing the power of the chip. But, the question that I have is, with AI, there is a thing called hallucination with AI, where it just makes shit up for no apparent reason. So it just goes into hallucination, as far as just making something up. It'll just, because this version of AI that we have is not really, it's an advanced version of machine learning, if you will. It recognizes patterns. It recognizes how you put sentences together, what kinds of words do you use, and that's kind of how it builds things out. So when we get past this basic era of AI and get into AGI, where it's general intelligence, which is what you and I have, then it might actually be thinking. Now it might be actually going through and processing, even though you see some of that basic rudimentary stuff within Grok or within DeepSight of how it applies the logic. That will get better rapidly. This is all moving exponentially right now. We're not in a linear path. This is exponential growth.
But see, I want to go back to this and this story in terms of data center boom in world's largest market isn't slowing down, Dominion Energy says. Dominion provides electricity in Loudoun County, Virginia, nicknamed Data Center Alley because it hosts the largest cluster of data centers in the world. Okay, but if it does that, then that means it has to have ready access to a vast amount of electricity. And so you and I spoke, and I think I may have said this also to Lost Wanderer, but I may have said this to you in texts or something like that. I said, if a state wants to be the leader in this, then the state that wants to lead AI in the entire nation is the state that is going to start building electric generation stations like a motherfucker, because we are so vastly far behind right now. We're incredibly far behind. And so if state X decides that it wants to make its mark in AI, if it were smart, it would figure out some way of creating a vast swath of electrical generation stations, and at the same time try to see how it can avoid the conflict, the major conflict from Democrats, leftists, and globalists, which is we demand EVs, we demand AI, we demand all our toys, but don't you build another electrical generation station, and don't even think about nuclear power or coal or any of that. We need about 1,500 Gen Zers on bicycles to create some kind of a little friction generator thing going on. How do we resolve that's the biggest conflict that I could possibly think of.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. You're going to see in what you're seeing now is Microsoft, Amazon are two that come to mind that have bought data centers with nuclear reactors next door.
Oh, I remember hearing something about that.
It isn't a whole bunch of, it isn't far flung. I think you're going to see the building of mini reactors along with data centers. And quite frankly, I think the big loser in this, given the current political climate in California, is going to be the state of California. Because
will they respond, though?
I don't know. I mean, they're so married to the whole renewables idea that they've taken literally any other form of power generation offline in California. So you cannot power a data center or an AI driven data center for doing AI things, off of renewables. You need something more than that. I mean, one of the things, my friend has been in a meeting in one of the companies that he works with is the oldest and the world's largest test and measurement company. So anything that gets done in computer technology or mobile cell phones, anything along those lines that has to be modeled before you go build it to determine, one, whether it will work, and two, what the usage and bandwidth requirements are going to be. Billy's working with them. And in a meeting that he had with them, the question of power came into play, and they said, this, and again, this is not somebody speculating. These are people that measure such things. They said that the AI will consume 99% of the world's power by 2037.
Okay. I have to go to a break. Say that one more time. And then when we come back, I want you to say that again. Let me put you in the big picture right here and just repeat what you said. Listen, folks, to Mike, what he's saying now.
The world's oldest and leading test and measurement company, the people that measure such things, say that AI will consume the world's power, 99% of it, by 2037.
And how is it possibly that you resolve that? What's the resolution? What's the answer? All that and more when we come back. I'm BZ. That was Mike Fitzpatrick, CEO and creator and originalist of NCX Group. We'll be right back Hey, if you've been drinking heavily, now's the time. Hit the electric winkle chamber. Thanks for watching.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
In a world where leftists are running out of metal for the safety pins of their soothing red diapers, one man stands alone, attempting to fundamentally change America, one leftist diaper at a time. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, is guiding you through the maelstrom of Democrat leftists and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Listen to BZ Saloon on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern on the SHR Media YouTube channel, Twitch, KLRN, Rumble, and X at BZ Saloon. It's one great late-night conservatarian talk radio show. Be there. Aloha.
Hello, friends. You have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN Radio.
It's Sean from the Edge of Liberty. Just like the Bidens, I too am moving. Only in my case, it's days and times. That's right, you can now find the Edge of Liberty Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on 11 Eastern on the SHR Media Network. Join me as we talk politics, news, alcohol, fun, not so much fun, clowns, small kittens, large kittens, dogs, amoebas, and anything else that just pops into my mind while I'm on the air. That is Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, on YouTube, X, KLRN Radio, Facebook, Twitch, and anywhere else a good podcast is found. Please check out our website, shrmedia.com. I will see you live on the air.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Independence. With that declaration, America was born. Inspired by a belief in the God-given rights of every human being, and in the good that comes from exercising these rights well. The founders of our great nation chose independence. As do we. Hillsdale College accepts no government funding because independence makes possible the good to which we aspire.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
First hour in the can. It is 9:06 p.m. on the left coast. That means it is 11:06 p.m. Central and 12:06 midnight 06 on the far right coast, which is the exact weird opposite. They're not right at all. Right? Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. My fine guest is Mike FITZPATRICK, who is the founder and CEO of NCX Group. We're talking about all things AI. He was the gentleman who was kind enough to create my intro song. And if you missed it at the beginning of the show, as I thrust this out into the Atmo later on in podcast, I would highly recommend that you come back and listen to the song, because so much stuff is going AI. I sort of went, I can't believe that I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to get a subscription to ChatGPT. I know, everyone, settle down. Okay.
I would go, BZ, go spend the $10 on Abacus and you get them all.
Oh, okay. All right. $10 a month, $120 a year. Even I can do that math. That's simple enough for me. And then the other thing is, would I think you said, or perhaps it was Lost Wanderer who said that the Suno subscription that fit best was also not more than about $10 a month. And
yeah, about $12 a month.
Yeah, and you get the full licensing, royalty free. You can use it in perpetuity by yourself, or you can smoke it, or you can pat it and push the duck in the bathtub along with it, whatever it is that you want. You can take it out for dinner and dancing with a ficus or another houseplant. You can do all of those things with chat. Now, we were talking about AI, and Mike Fitzpatrick, for those of you who just tuned in, would you please, and I want to emphasize this emphasingly, tell us what it was that you said about power consumption just prior to the break.
Well, what I said before the break is, according to a meeting that a friend had regarding his technology, which saves energy, with the largest and oldest test and measurement company in the world, they are saying that AI will consume 99% of the power by 2037. So that means no electricity for your home, nothing to cook with, nothing to plant crops with. When they say all of it, they mean all of it. So there has to be dynamic change related to that. Who is it? Eric Schmidt, one of the founders of Google, recently said that's all going to happen in 3 years. He said that 2 weeks ago. I think
so everything we're seeing and hearing about, you have to, there was Mike Fitzpatrick. There was a theorem in computing that I forget, and you may remember because that's your shindig. Something similar to the progression of computing isn't just sort of a little bit of a hockey stick incline. It's geometric. So I'm assuming that would be absolutely accurate for AI in terms of its ability to understand itself and for power consumption. So if somebody prognosticated, in 2037 we'll need this, you might even at that point put it on the bullshit meter and say, oh no, it's going to be a lot sooner than that.
It's coming fast because, again, like I said, this is all now happening exponentially. So AI is learning rapidly. One of the things that, who was it? Glenn Beck has been, I have to say this, as far as conservatives are concerned, Glenn Beck has kind of been at the forefront of AI for the better part of 10 years now. So he's really talked to a lot of the folks in Silicon Valley, spent some time, he's been learning. He actually had, I just went blank on his name. We'll come back to it. Anyway, he was responsible for Google's AI project and helping it learn. Ray Kurzweil. He invented the Kurzweil organ. He also invented fax machines.
Okay, I know about
he's
organ.
a futurist. So Ray is responsible for this singularity concept that is out there, because Ray's grandfather died and he wanted to be able to save all of his grandfather's memories electronically so he could carry on his own conversations with his grandfather. So that's the singularity. If you want to look that up, boys and girls, that's a fun one. So Ray was put in charge of Google's AI project. And if you had an Android device, it has been listening to you with Ray's direction. And that has how Google has been teaching their AI is by listening to everybody's Android conversations. According to
Because
Ray, that's not Mike. That's according to Ray.
Well, otherwise, if Google, people said this a long time ago. Sackhead Sean said this probably 5 or 6 years ago. He had one of those cursed things in the SHR Media studios, and I knew the son of a bitch was listening to us because otherwise, if you said, wasn't the instigation "Hey Google" or something like that? So if it responds to "Hey Google," that means it's listening all the time to you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, I mean, the Stasi have nothing on what tech companies can
Oh,
do
yeah.
now.
The NSA has nothing on
Yeah.
them.
So, I mean, it's an interesting dilemma that we're facing. And when Billy first told me this, it went in one ear, out the other, and okay, so they're going to use up all the renewable power by 2037. And I asked Billy, so you're talking about renewables, right? He said, no, it's all of it. How has anybody got any idea? I mean, when was the last power plant actually built?
In
Because
California, I would say it's probably California. Always spelled it with a K. Sorry, I forgot to say that. I would guesstimate 40 years ago,
I mean,
50
these
years
things
ago.
don't just pop up overnight.
No. Plus, California has been on the cusp, not on the cusp, but it has been on the leading edge of deactivating nuclear power plants and deactivating other power plants
Yeah,
as well.
almost all renewable now. Diablo Canyon is the only nuclear plant still online in California. San Onofre, they took offline,
Yep, that's
probably
done.
about 5 years ago.
Yep.
So I mean, it's interesting. I think the states where you'll see back to your original point, I think the states where you'll actually see a lot of growth in energy are going to be states that are forward thinking, predominantly red, where there's less regulation. And I think you're going to see it in Texas. I think you'll see it in Florida. I think you'll see it in Ohio with Vivek, who I really like that guy. And what he's going to do in Ohio. I think you'll see it in other forward-thinking states because if you're going to attract the big data centers into your world, there has to be power. It also is going to take a revamp of the power grid, and again, why the power companies, one, don't do cybersecurity assessments, and number two, don't make the grid capable of withstanding an EMP is beyond me. But those are just my two pet peeves with the power companies.
But see, the other thing that you make, I had completely forgotten about this. I should not have, is there are golden opportunities in order for us to take advantage of. That is to say, if we decide that we're going to update the grid, and we're going to have to, what alternative is there? So you can kill two birds at once with one rock by upgrading the grid, creating more power stations. And by the way, when I say nucleonics, I'm also talking thorium, folks. Go check thorium in terms of nuclear reactors. That would logically be the future, but nobody's thinking about it because the IAEA, I don't think, would make a shit ton of money off of it. That's a story for another day. Move along, BZ. But while you're doing that, it would also be of primacy to make sure that you EMP proof your news stations, to make sure that you EMP proof your lines, your transformers, your neighborhood stations. I mean, this is a golden opportunity if they do it right to do it right in your laps.
Yeah.
Do it. With the caveat, of course, being where are you going to get the power and where are you going to get the money? Because everything and everyone else is clamoring for more money. And on top of that, you've got Democrats, leftists, and globalists who don't want the government to save money, who want to continue spending and puking out all this cash to their friends, NGOs, etc. So it's a huge maximum culture clash. It's a huge culture clash.
And I mean, China just bring online the first thorium plant.
Did they really?
Yeah, last week.
Oh my God.
It's recent.
Okay, and beat us to that.
I mean, AI is a race to energy dominance, and Trump's right about that. Now, if we can get out of the court system and actually go get some things done, we might have a shot. But again, it's a battle between the U.S. and China. And that, BZ, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. We talked about this on Friday too. And I really think that good, bad, or indifferent, you need to go spend some time, and I'm not talking about you specifically, everybody listening needs to go spend some time with AI, learn AI, figure it out, learn how to write proper prompts, learn how to get the research data out of it that you need. It really is a benefit to your business and even a lot of your everyday kinds of activities. My son, who's Gen Z, man, he wants nothing to do with AI. But then again, his best friend has now created a business using AI. So it's an interesting world out there, but don't be afraid of it. Go learn and understand it, because it is there's no going back. It's not a fad. It's not a trend. It is a tool, and it is a tool that is going to be with us from here on out.
As I've said before, folks, there are no two ways. The genie is out of the bottle, and you can't shove the genie back. It's like squeezing all the preparation H out of the tube, mistaking it for toothpaste, and you can't shove it back. Okay, it's out. You can't redo it. It can't and won't be done. And so I finally realized after the Saturday night show and what Sean and Earl and Jersey Joe and KLRN and all the other people have done with AI and yourself as well, what you've done with AI and for me is I do need to get into this. Maybe it will be too much for me. I don't know. Brain cells are flitting out of my headphones even as we speak, but I'm going to try to give it a shot.
I think you'll enjoy it.
It could be fun. Yeah. It could actually be fun. What if I sit down one day and I attack Suno? It's going to take me 1.79 years to figure it out. But one day, what if I figure it out and I create a cool song?
There you go.
And then I bring it here and I play it to people. And it actually has, as opposed to me, an actual bass line that makes sense, even though I'm not a musician. But musicians today, as we said Saturday, something similar to musicians are going to have to adapt or die. Now,
everybody is going to have to adapt or die with this.
On the other hand, though, as a lot of people pointed out on the Saturday night show, that may also make small musical venues even more valuable in terms of making music, and it will make people appreciate the human soul that people and the mistakes and the humanity that people bring to music when they produce it. Not to say that AI music won't be bad or will be bad, but to say that it may create a secondary appreciation for things that are created by hand by people. As you pointed out, Mike, a lot of people and Gen Zers are going back into the trades. They are eschewing Gesundheit colleges and universities, and they're going into the trades. That is a wonderful thing. And if that's the generality of Gen Z, I think they're making wonderful, wonderful decisions. Great decisions.
No, Gen Z is searching for things that are authentic. They're more conservative than the generation before them, the millennials. As we were talking about on Friday, Gen Z is a generation that has experienced some things. You've got, whether they realized it or not. I mean, my son's at the forefront of Gen Z. In 2001, 9/11, that changed travel. So he had to go through a different travel process than any of the rest of us did growing up. Here where we live in Southern California, our area was heavily hit with foreclosures during the Great Recession. So a lot of kids know people that lost homes during that period of time. Then you've got the pandemic. Now you've got it changed college, it changed high school graduation, changed my son's whole trajectory. He was going to be a doctor, and now he's decided he wants to be a fireman. Now he's already a paramedic, and he starts fire academy in August. So it changed the whole direction of where he's going with his life. But it is that generation is not given the credit for being more traditional than many before it.
Okay, let me I've been watching the chat, and thanks to everybody who's been in chat tonight, and I really enjoy the interactions that are there. There's a new gentleman who is here, and I will throw this open to you. The man's name is Richard Gibbs, and he has indicated in chat that he has concerns that artists are going to be hurt by AI. Well, let me throw this out here, and perhaps you'll pick up on it. Perhaps you'll take the ball and run.
Yeah.
That opens some questions to me, and it's much easier to talk person to person than it is in a chat room. So,
sure.
Richard Gibbs, there's the phone line down there at the bottom. The phone lines are open, and I don't know, maybe a couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be long. If you'd like to chat about this, give the phone number a call. I'd like to hear your concerns about whatever it is that you do as an artist being replaced by AI. Because if you have those thoughts, it would seem to indicate that a lot of other people who are artists in whatever genres they utilize would likely also have a lot of concerns as well. So if you are interested, I would like to hear your thoughts. 916-835-3329. 916-835-3329. I will let the Chiron run there at the bottom, and we will continue. And Jeremy Hansen points out that Gen Z is the closest thing to the greatest generation we have had.
I said that to you on Friday, didn't I?
You certainly did. Things have changed. Not Gen X, Gen Z. And Lost Wanderer also notes, I'm an artist. I've been creating medieval fantasy art and doing KLRN logos. So then Lost Wanderer, if that is true, then when you do the logos, now there's a gentleman that did, right up here. If you look at the upper left, or excuse me, the upper right, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, a gentleman named Scotty Roberts did that for me by hand. The guy is a phenomenal artist. He's had some medical issues. Oh my God, what a tortured soul that poor guy has been. But he still draws by hand. I don't know. Maybe he's moving over into AI, but I can't help but think that it's affected his income as an artist who takes, I don't know, a piece of paper or a board or whatever medium he chooses to use and create things. And he also writes. He has designed and created books. The guy is phenomenal in terms of that. I've never seen AI create a better logo than I have. That said, what it does is tremendously well. I take my art, it takes my art and elevates it. See, and that's what I said about music. If you're already facile with music, using AI as a tool you'll be able to continue with that ability in AI. And then at least Jeremy Hansen says, Scotty's a good friend. He's still in the hospital. He's a good soul. Oh, he's a great soul.
BZ, I would say, you could make the argument as far as whether, AI and art. And I mean, there's some people that could make the argument that Adobe Illustrator, which has been used for art and creating a lot of images for the last 25 years, is a form of artificial intelligence with the way that it allows you to lay out a page. Or the way it allows you to draw or create an image. So, I mean, you have that. I mean, is spell checking the use of rudimentary AI back in the day?
Yeah, sure. You could make an argument for that. And me, an older guy, I had a massive collection of Marvel comics from the 60s. I made a horrible mistake with my Marvel comics, but I have original art from John Buscema, John Romita, and who's the other one? And Gene Colan. And you can look at the layouts on the pages and you can see where they have, used whiteout and all sorts of things to plug the issues. And comics are completely digitized today. If you want to have art and if you want to put it into a comic book, you're going to be doing it digitally. Now, maybe with your hand on a pad where you create things on the pad, use all the things that the artists do, but it has been entirely digitized, so to speak. And Lost Wanderer says, Clippy was from the first Chat GPT. Oh, yeah. I'm guessing you mean clip art. Oh my God. I'd forgotten about clip art. Holy moly. This is interesting. I had not heard about this. Jeremy Hansen indicates they say AI will be able to kill cancer cells in the body.
And I just said that's ivermectin right now if you watch the reports.
Yeah, exactly. Wait. Richard Gibbs, I think I know who you are. You're on Facebook. I think I recently friended you on Facebook. And I think that I've been looking at all the various forms of art that you've been displaying on Facebook. Are you that guy? Because when you mentioned comics, flyers, album covers, my thought was, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar to me. And just confirm if you would in chat, are you that guy? And the reason I ask, it's self-serving, is I was going to send you a message and ship you an image and ask you, because you said, you're a hired pen. Do you do things on consignment? So I may be sending you something. And now you said, yes, that's me. Okay, cool. I'm going to be sending you some things and perhaps we can chat a little bit later. And I'd like to see, because your work is pretty amazing. So thank you for being here tonight. That's great. I appreciate it. That is ivermectin on cancer. And Richard says, yep, that's me. Let me ask you this. Now, we were sending texts back and forth.
Yes.
Mike Fitzpatrick and myself. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to do this after the break. Folks, I'm BZ. That's Mike Fitzpatrick. We are going to have to take a break. If for no other reason that BZ here has to do something important and find out why the dog is now scratching at the door. In any event, folks, I'll be right back. This is the final break. Thanks for being here tonight.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Listen in to the Reaver of Common Sense, where we cut through the noise of news and politics with a show equipped for bombast. Tune in Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific, featuring a refreshing dose of reality. Jersey Joe fearlessly tackles the tough topics with no nonsense. Just pure common sense. Visit shrmedia.com, where you can hear the Reaver of common sense in action. He may not always be polite. He may not always be refined. But one thing's for sure. He always tells it like it is.
Are you looking for a way to boldly express your faith and love for your country? Then check out Seven Armors, the premier apparel company for patriotic men of God, where faith meets freedom in style. Our t-shirts are more than just clothing, they're statements. Bold, stylish, and meaningful. From timeless messages to modern designs, we've got something for every patriotic man of God. Wear your beliefs proudly with Seven Armors gear. Don't miss the chance to wear your faith and freedom on your sleeve. Visit 7armors.com today and join the movement. That's the number 7armors.com. 7armors.com. Faithful, vigilant, steadfast, passion.
Are you looking for bold and honest conversation about the issues shaping America? Well, let me welcome you to Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen, where we take you beyond the headlines. We dive into politics and culture, the struggles of everyday life.
Okay, stop. Okay, guilty twice. Okay, you caught me. I was busy up to my ass in alligators all day long creating CGI through Grok for the show. And okay, I forgot to include a graphic for Lost Wanderer. He's going to send me a graphic. Jeremy, if you're listening right now, mea culpa, mea mega culpa. I forgot to have a graphic prepared for you tonight because of your promo. I apologize.
Raw, real, and unfiltered. If you're ready for truth with a punch, pull up a chair and join us. That's right, Unleashed 101, where real talk feels like home. Find us at unleashed101.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. We look forward to seeing you. Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen.
Freedom. One nation in all of human history was built on that bedrock. Ours. A republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Self-government requires freedom, just as freedom requires an individual willingness to self-govern. Freedom has made America exceptional, but it can only last as long as you and I seek the good, as expressed by the laws of nature and nature's God. It can only last if you and I choose to act as people of character. Forging character has been the pursuit of Hillsdale College since 1844.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
It's the final half hour of the show. I do not anticipate that I'm going to be going into overtime tonight. That will make a lot of people happy. Or they'll boo-hoo, but mostly they'll be happy that the show will be ending. But again, I emphasize to everybody with great emphasis, emphasizingly. I just created a new word. See what I did there? Go back to the beginning of this show in podcast. I will kick it back out in podcast. Give me about an hour after the show ends, and I always kick the podcast out. That gives me time for Rumble to requeue, so to speak, and I can ship it out. And when you see it says podcast of blah, 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 hit it. Listen to the beginning of the show and the music that was played. That was the song that was created by Mike Fitzpatrick right here. And I also want to say with great emphasis, this is important.
Folks, this is BZ's final hour. Step up. Last call for alcohol.
Because it ain't going to go any longer than this. thanks to everybody for being here tonight. Now, my guest tonight is the wondrous Mike Fitzpatrick. He's been here a whole bunch of times. I counted, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I counted this is appearance number 12 for Mike. So Mike has been here a whole bunch of times. Yeah, I was kind of surprised too, in a positive, pleasant way. You and I were exchanging texts.
As opposed to the unwanted guest kind of way.
Well, yeah, because I've had unwanted guests before. Okay, let me do this. When I first started the show, I would go out into the ether on the internet and I'd look at somebody or I'd try to find people that already had podcasts, because I thought, oh, they'll know what they're doing. They will be able to come on and I'll just wind them up and let them go. And some of those people were the worst, most dull folks I've ever had the displeasure to feature. I will not name names. One of them has since passed away. Let's just let that go. Let's let it go, BZ. Again, like at the beginning of the show, following the rant, just in through the nose, out through the mouth. In texts earlier, and folks were talking with Mike Fitzpatrick about AI music, AI ramifications, AI energy. And in a chat that we had, you said there was a change in AI.
Mm-hmm.
Anything using open AI has developed a leftist bias. And you said you saw it after an update to the LLM, large language model. And then, of course, you indicated as the models get larger, they consume more energy. Now, I didn't understand this because, I'm stupid. But you had written in there, AI currently costs OpenAI $3,000. Now, is that dollars?
Yeah. So typically,
per computing minute per energy.
Yeah. So the energy cost per computing minute per server, according to that large test and measurement company, is $3,000 per minute. Per server. Minute per server.
Okay, now wait a minute. Stop. Let me go back because I want to confirm something. Shoot, do I still have this? I don't. I can't find it. Oh, yeah, here we go. No, that's not it either. Damn it, Jim. Okay, let me put this back up. $3,000 per minute per server. Now, using this graphic as a representation of a server farm, does that mean that every server up and down this line, and in a room like that, for example, Mike Fitzpatrick, how many servers could there be in there?
Easy. I mean, it's
100, 200, 300?
Thousands and thousands.
Okay, so that's why I wanted to make sure that I understand you correctly. There could be let's say in this building, if this is a server farm, in this building, there are 1,000 servers.
Mm-hmm.
The cost is per server, let's say 1,000 servers, $3,000 per server. Per minute. Who can afford this?
Well, they're burning through cash at just a crazy rate.
Okay, so only this again with the 99% of energy is going to be consumed by AI. That blew my brain. That literally made me look like this. And then the stat that you just indicated, $3,000 per minute per server in a room like this, which could possibly have 1,000 servers. So who could possibly afford all that unless you're a billionaire or a mega billionaire company, or because of the amount that you charge for lodging information on your servers, you're making bank. So the question is, are these people making bank on their servers?
Probably. I mean, I think at this point in time, BZ, I think they're probably just looking for break even. I was just going to ask Grok how much OpenAI has raised.
Okay. Not a simulated picture. In any event, while Grok does that, let me go back.
Okay, so OpenAI has raised through their offerings $57.9 billion.
Okay.
And they're still raising money.
But they're also just blowing through money. All of the people that have server farms must be blowing through money.
The big ones out there are Google, Microsoft with Azure, and Amazon Web Services. Those are the big ones out there from data center land. AT&T's got data centers. There's some small ones that are out there, but the big ones are Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are the big ones.
When we talked about this, and I knew we were going to be discussing this, and I knew that there were going to be some massive figures, some massive indicators about energy consumption, EVs versus energy consumption, the money that it takes, the power that it takes, the water, the cooling that it takes. And yet, on top of that, let me put this up on the stage. There are still people in leftist states. For example, there are a consortium of people in Washington that have decided that they want to take down 4 dams on the Snake River because it's interfering with salmon. You can't do that anymore. Democrats, leftists, and globalists, you are fucking insane. How are you going to sit and stand and demand serving the power consumption that EVs have to have? You want your AI. You have no concept. If you watch the show, this gentleman right here gets it, obviously, in a good percentile of the people that are watching the show right now. But so many people are working at cross purposes. None of this makes sense. None of it can occur. And there is such a major conflict occurring in the goals of 2 essentially what are soon to be, if they're not already, warring entities in terms of, I got to have this over here and I got to have this over here. And I don't care what you want and you don't care what he or she wants over here. These, no bueno. They're not going to happen. They can't happen. It can't happen here. How do we get past Mike Fitzpatrick, these, what I consider to be naked, huge, abject, really, when you think about it, stupid conflicts? You can't have both things at once.
It's the thought that as you were talking about the dams being decommissioned and returned back to the natural flow of the Snake River, the thing that came to mind, related to data centers is the Dust Bowl in Kansas and Oklahoma during the 30s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from a business standpoint, the states that are going to excel at this are going to be, I think, in the Midwest. I think that, I mean, if you look at the communications hub of the United States, it's in Overland Park, Kansas, and it's in St. Louis, Missouri. If you want to look at where the nexus point is for most of the communications across the United States, they come out of those two locations. So if you need data centers, they've got to be located next to what? Communication centers. If you want redundancy, if you want different bandwidth, different pipes, different back. I mean, so it's going to be interesting. Texas is going to be a winner because Elon's in Texas. Texas is, I mean, Elon's building Colossus, and all the other stuff that he's got going on is being done in Texas. He's relocated the entire corporation to Texas out of California.
Okay, if you would look below, Richard Gibbs, who is, this is his first time here. And thank you, Richard, for being here. You are cordially invited to each and every show that I do on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And sometimes I do them on the weekend as well. And as a matter of fact, it might be kind of interesting to chat with you sometime on the show and have you on the show. You knew I was going to go there. Mike, you knew I was going to go there. I was going to invite him. Anyway, in chat, his comment is, and he'd like you to weigh in. My son just told me AI is going to be dead in 5 years due to cost and nothing is going forward. Any thoughts about that?
Well, I would be curious what is nothing going forward means. I mean, the United States and President Trump are all in on AI and wants to make it the AI capital of the world, the energy capital of the world.
Yep.
And quite frankly, AI is the new arms race. So they're going to spend whatever they have to spend on it, quite frankly, period.
Oh boy. Did you ever nail that one? That's true. AI is the new arms race. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Yes.
So whoever controls AI, whoever has the best AI is going to win, because, I mean, from a cybersecurity standpoint, going back to what I do, my day job, and that is, you know, we're looking at AI being used and to deal with millions and millions and millions of threats every day, to normalize that data for humans to actually be able to understand. But we're coming to a point, I mean, when we get into AGI and ASI, superintelligence, then you're talking about a type of cyber attack utilizing AI that will have the ability to evade detection.
Okay, you said AGI was artificial
general
intelligence. Okay, so what is ASI?
Is artificial superintelligence. So it's 200 times. So it's, 200 times human intelligence.
Okay, that sounds creepy and scary.
Well, everybody will be a pet then.
And really frightening. And what will the cold mental palm on the top of my head feel like? Good dog. Here's your biscuit.
Go back and watch Terminator.
Okay, let me recommend this. There were a series of books that were written. I can't think of the guy's name. He was English, but it was called Colossus, the Forbin Project. And he wrote 3 books, a trilogy, I believe, in the late 60s, early 70s. I may be getting some of the details off, but basically it's called Colossus, the Forbin Project. And this author in those 3 books had Russia creating an AI, the United States creating an AI, an intelligent, self-aware computer. And the 2 computers, though they tried their best not to, found each other, shook hands, and took over the world. And then it was the attempts subsequently throughout the rest of the other books as to how humanity, D.F. Jones, thank you, The Lost Wanderer, D.F. Jones. And I still have my copies. I have a huge bookcase about 50 feet that way. And I still have my paperback copies of those. D.F. Jones, Colossus, the Forbin Project. Haven't read them? I would highly recommend it. And a lot of these people, that's why I enjoy science fiction, because a lot of that stuff is prescient coming from people that have already thought about this. And I can remember 1980. When did Terminator come out? 1984, maybe. James Cameron's first Terminator film.
Yep.
And myself and a deputy named Dave Murray watched that. And as soon as we watched the robots crush the human skulls, we thought, this is going to be a Debbie Downer movie, or it's going to be really stupid. And it turned out to be one of the more creative movies that we had ever seen up to that point.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's going to be an interesting, it's an interesting future. And, you know, you've got a gold rush that's going on right now with AI. And there, you know, like every aspect of technology, there will be companies that come and go during that gold rush, you know, boom, bust kind of thing. But going back to my original point, AI is here. It's not going to go away. There will be winners, big winners with it. And a lot of those tech companies that are out there now, Meta, you know, the Meta, X, Amazon, Google, they're Apple. I mean, the interesting thing, one of the interesting things to me is
exactly. What will it do with those forms of technology?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Apple had decided to utilize OpenAI in its new Apple Intelligence with its new iPhone 16 that came out. So they're running behind and having some issues, but I guess in a bake-off, you know, basically a test between OpenAI and Google's new Gemini 2 or 2.5, they ended up choosing Google as the AI for the new Apple phone. Not OpenAI. So there's some issues with OpenAI, and you know, I'm not sure what the issues are, but there's some initial big supporters of them, Microsoft as well as Apple, that have sort of pushed back.
Well, I got about 7 minutes before the end of the show. This show has gone swimmingly and quickly, and most rickety like quick like bunny. And as I say when I get into that thing, into that dialect guy, the first thing I have to say is moose and squirrel. Moose and squirrel. This is from Canary Media. Lots of demand, too little grid, the state of the U.S. power sector. An underbuilt power grid is preventing the U.S. from meeting surging demand with new clean energy. These charts show why it's the case. Well, they're talking about clean energy, and I think we're beyond clean energy. Everybody's going to be scrambling for just give me the energy, okay? I don't particularly care where it comes from. I don't care about any of that stuff. So if you can, in your finest Mike Fitzpatrick fashion, what do you think is occurring with regard to the United States? We have a pretty good idea of what's happening here. I see this as fundamentally a huge play between China and the U.S. Russia may be involved in there. Certainly, they've had some technological developments, but I don't think they're quite on the beam like China is right now, though in and of themselves, the Chinese are having incredible problems right now, economic and otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be accurate to say something similar to, yep, it's going to be the U.S. and it's going to be China, and whoever manages to swing that bat most accurately will probably knock it out of the park. And then once you make that inroad, can anyone make up lost ground?
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. So yes, to the first part of the question, yes, I think we're looking at a predominant battle, you know, Godzilla versus, you know, Megalodon kind of thing, you know, with the United States and China. Now, who comes out of that? I mean, that's the beauty of AI is, and that's kind of the thing China showed with DeepSight, is they built something that was almost every bit as good as OpenAI for a fifth of the price. and a fifth of the engineering talent. So I mean, it's crazy what can be done, and there's going to be efficiencies that come with AI building other AI. So it's going to be it's an interesting future. The other thought that came to mind too, BZ, is you might want to read a book series. It's by a guy by the name of Daniel Suarez. The first book is Demon. And daemon is a computer technology term. It's a one function kind of process. And in this particular case, in the book, it's one demon leads to another demon, to another demon, to another demon to commit murders and then hide them. It is a phenomenal cyber kind of story. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm looking over here and it says Demon a Novel, but it says Leonard Zeraus. And then it says up here, Daniel Suarez. So, okay, apparently I did.
Daniel Suarez.
Okay.
So this computer application.
A one of three books?
Yep.
This is fiction?
Fiction.
Okay.
But it's what is the term? It's based on some realities, but taken to an extreme.
Okay. All righty. Good to know.
I think you'll like that.
All right.
But it's kind of the roots of what AI could potentially do when connected to everything.
But doesn't it make everyone wonder? Because you would never know. How do we have any kind of inkling as to results? Because everything dealing with AI is so, by its very nature, geometric. When I think Hawking said something similar to extraterrestrials, when they come, will kill us all. And there was another individual, Richard Fine. He was a physicist. I can see his face. I can't even. Basically said AI will be the death of us all.
It's definitely a slippery slope.
And
I have to say,
it also goes back to the Drake equation, which is something similar to Feynman. That's it. Richard Feynman, Lost Wanderer. Thank you. It also goes back to the Drake equation, which says you will only have spacefaring civilizations if they can survive two things: their equivalent of nucleonics and their equivalent of AI. If you can survive those two huge blockages and somehow blast past them, you may live, maybe, to travel the galaxy. See, stuff like that I find extremely interesting. So, Mike Fitzpatrick, thanks for being here. Tell folks where you are, what you do, and if they have issues with stuff that you handle, where can they find you? Pretty please.
Well, okay. So one, we're a cybersecurity consulting firm, and that's usually what I'm on here talking about, not AI. But you can find us at ncxgroup.com, and then all the socials, Facebook, X, LinkedIn is all at NCX Group. And so, as always, BZ, it's a pleasure. I always love spending some time with you. I'm glad you liked the song, man. I thought it was pretty good.
Excuse me, folks. Cover your shell-like little ears, because I'm going to say, Mike Fitzpatrick, that song fucking rocked. Okay? Thank you very much. So, Mike, thanks for being here tonight. And folks, that's going to be it for me. I appreciate everybody in chat, everybody who watched. We made it up to about 45 people or so watching live, almost 50, but not exactly quite that. And still in all, I love Mike Fitzpatrick, great guy. great friend. I apologize to Jeremy and the Lost Wanderer for not having overlays for their promos. I should have had that covered, but I was a busy little boy today. Richard Gibbs, I'm going to be contacting you a little bit in the future, just to kind of see what it is that you can do. Because God, let me see if I get this right. George Bush said a while ago, George Bush Jr., he said something similar to, Ozzy, my mom likes your stuff. And Richard Gibbs, I have to tell you, I like your stuff. So expect to contact, and if you're amenable, sometime if you're interested, you could jump on the show and we could chat. And with that having been said,
conservative media done right.
Okay, how about this? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks again for listening to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct right here on the SHR Media Network. Also on Rumble, on the SHR Media YouTube channel, X, and Twitch. And look, right there, there's my X handle at BZ's Saloon on Twitch. And KLRN will play the replay of this tomorrow night, I do believe. That's very kind of Rick Robinson to do that as well. And you can find it when I'll put it out in podcast. And any place you can find a fairly decent podcast, you'll be able to find BZ's Saloon. And as per normal, and I usually also say something similar to promotional consideration is by the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, also by Shure and Electrovoice microphones, the ones I use here in the studio, my mixer, Arrakis, and also promotional consideration by Pratt & Whitney engines featuring thrust. You can trust. And as per normal, tiaras are by My Little Pony. Hey, I may or may not be drinking shortly. Everybody, God bless. Take care. See you Thursday night. Hasta la bye-bye.
Everybody quiet down now and get some sleep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mama. Night, Ben. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night,
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, and good luck.